Hi. Have you ever felt like you were stuck in the same cycle?
I most certainly have.
Recently, I have been noticing circles in every aspect of my life, and they come in a very obvious formula that I have discovered through listening to the album No Rain, No Flowers by Sabrina Claudio. And she provides some pretty great insight on how to get out of this cycle.
So I want you to come here. I want you to come here. I just need you near. No matter how, just make it here.
So one day, maybe a few years ago, I woke up and I thought, okay, I need to start eating better. So bad that I had planned out an entire meal plan for myself. It was a decision that I made.
Was determined to follow.
And me making that meal plan was just me telling myself, hey, don't fuck this up, and finally follow through on something. Have you ever wanted something so badly and you were so positive that the motivation you had when you first started would last forever? Funny. So the thing is, I was so determined to start eating better and living that healthy lifestyle that is so cool and people do, and people make it seem like it's so easy to eat grass all day. And this lasted a few days, and sometimes a few weeks, and sometimes a few months, and even sometimes a few hours. But the truth is, I failed so many times to just eat healthy, leaving me feeling vulnerable, naked. When it comes time to finally do the thing that you're motivated to do, the motivation that you had a few days ago or earlier is like non-existent now. What happened? You were so sure yesterday, and now you feel vulnerable because you failed again, even though it was just to yourself. Your fear is that you will never commit and be able to pull this off.
This is part of the cycle. This the part when you lose something you work so hard to gain. But the universe will always have its way to prove to you it wasn't a mistake.
So last year, when I was trying to eat healthier, one of these cycles lasted a few months, and I had lost a good amount of weight. I was so proud of my progress, yet I somehow still ended up binging at some point after a few months. And when I did it, it felt so good, but the next day I was so guilty. You work so hard to get something, and then you lose it in an instant. What was all that work for? But Sabrina Claudio said it's all part of the cycle, and you lose something that you worked so hard to gain, but the universe always has its way of telling you that it wasn't a mistake. What do you mean, Sabrina? Like, I don't get it. Your failures are not mistakes. Let's think about that for a second. Yes, I binged one day and I got all the bad out of my system. All I'm thinking after it happened was, what was all that hard work for? I just lost all my progress, right? But all we had were nothing but lessons. My failures are not mistakes. My failures are lessons. and it's my decision if I want to learn from them or not.
My body, mind finally went numb. Body, mind finally went numb. Body, mind finally went numb, and I'm finally done.
So I decided to not give up on the progress that I did make and keep on pushing through my meal plans, which I hated, by the way. I honestly became so numb to it though, and food became something that I no longer enjoyed. I'm not saying that binging gave me joy, but I do like me some good food, you know, some Kraft mac and cheese. You forgot why you started in the first place. And honestly, all of this work doesn't seem worth it. That motivation that you had, that little spark that you had this in your eye when you first started all of this is gone. You become numb to it at a certain point. You feel like you don't even remember why you started in the first place.
Did we lose our minds? Were we ever fine?
You find yourself going crazy trying to figure out why you keep failing even though you know you can succeed. You ask yourself a million questions. What went wrong? What did I do? Am I just meant to be a failure?
I'm not used to losing my mind, but its pieces put me at peace. For once I'm okay with not knowing where I'm going. It liberates me. I think I've lost control.
At this point, you have lost all hope in success, where you completely give up because you are confident that you are not capable. But the real reason is you give up because you're scared. You'll hurt yourself when you try and fall again. But do you want the feeling of being scared to stop you from living your life to your true potential? We have to be brave and let ourselves fall so you know that you've done the best that you could. Life isn't about always winning, because if it was, then it wouldn't be life. Cycles are life. You know, we should be okay with the fact that we don't know where things are going, because life isn't fun if we know how it ends. Haven't you watched season 4 of The Good Place? Okay, I just went on a major tangent.
That girl inside me stays. If I'm not here for me, she will be there.
So this is actually my favorite song, so picking lyrics that were the best to represent it was very difficult. Messages from my past self will always guide me. Somewhere along the lines, I forgot why I started eating healthy in the first place. In the song, Did We Lose Our Minds? Specifically, the song was about losing control and questioning if we're really capable, I think. See, that's where I was mistaken, because I know that I can. It's not whether, it's a decision. I will never be upset at trying my best, but I will always be disappointed in the fact that I didn't try, because not trying is a direct failure. Trying your best and still failing and knowing when to give up is true success, I believe. In the song Messages to Her, the girl inside me stays, meaning the girl that made all of those mistakes is still there and always will be. All of your past selves are here to help guide you through the next journey in your life, even if you're not there for yourself. You know those movies that the character is stuck in the same day over and over? An example of this is Groundhog's Day, but there are so many more out there. But I really think that they were onto something. They're stuck in the same day or the same cycle until they do something obvious that the audience notices to get out. Most times it's changing their attitude on the situation in some way. It almost seems like it was so obvious and they should have had it all along. But it's so much harder to see that in your own life because you're not a third party audience watching yourself. It's hard to realize when we're continually failing to understand why we are failing. So I think the only way to find out how or why we keep failing is to continue to fail over and over again until that epiphany happens, just like in the movies. And they wouldn't have that epiphany if they didn't continue to try and try again. Every cycle needs bad times, or else it wouldn't be a cycle at all. Without rain, we don't have flowers. Without the hard times, we can't learn from our mistakes. Without that ability to learn from our mistakes, we can't grow as humans. We need to be brave enough to let those bad times happen so we can enjoy the good stuff even more. So why don't we listen to our past selves, tell us the reasons why we started in the first place? Why don't we try to understand our past selves and try to learn why we made those past mistakes so we can do better the next time? Are those reasons still enough for you? Or do you think it's a sign for you to commit to quitting? Quitting is not a bad thing, but you need to commit to it and take it as a step that if you say you're going to quit, that means you can't ever come back to it. Well, you can, but when you commit, then you're doing it for the right reasons. I personally realized eating healthy for me wasn't working because I was restricting too much. I decided to eat whatever I want, just slowly and with caution, I guess intuitive eating. And that's been working for me, and I think that I finally figured out that part of my life and how to get out that cycle. So I'm gonna stick with it. What cycle are you currently trapped in? I don't know about you, but I always have a new cycle that I'm trying to tackle. And right now it's the CPA exam. And I'm just gonna keep failing until I can figure out why, or just not fail anymore, I guess. Okay, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, /subscribe to my channel, /also follow me on Instagram. Would love that. And I will see y'all next time. Bye.